What's up, YouTube friends? Now this time of year, the cold and flu are going around everywhere. And all of us probably have a tissue box in every room of our house. So today, I'm going to show you how to make a reversible tissue box cover that you can match to your decor in your house or just to pretty up these boxes. Now the box that I have doesn't necessarily have an ugly pattern on it, but it could use some pizzazz. But some of those cheaper ones are very dull and plain. So the things that you're going to need to make this reversible tissue box cover are 2 fat quarters of fabric. Of course, I'm going to be doing these 2 different prints of camo, but you could do anything that you want. You could do a holiday on one side and just a plain on the other. That way you could have it all year round. You're also going to need 1/2 inch wide elastic. I'll be using the white kind today. You're also going to need some fusible stabilizer. This is a mid-weight here that I have just on hand here, but I would go ahead and go to the store and get a heavyweight. That'll make them a little bit more stiffer and hold the shape better. But like I said, this is what I have on hand. You're also going to need a tissue box. I'll be using the square one here, which actually isn't square. But you could also use this for those rectangle boxes too. Now I'll be using a piece of freezer paper to make a pattern, and you're also going to need your sewing machine with thread and your iron and ironing board. So let's get started. So the first thing that I went ahead and did is make my pattern here. To get your pattern, all you need to do is take a ruler and we're going to measure the top here. This just happened to be 4 3/8 inches across by 4 1/2 inches up. So that's that center square right here. Next, I measured from the top of the box down to the bottom. And my box right here just happened to be 5 inches. So from each side here, I measured over 5 inches and drew a flap. And I did that to all 4 sides. Next, we want a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So this outside line, I just went ahead and I measured a 1/2 inch away, all the way around. So now we just want to find the center here. So all I did was go ahead and I folded it in half one way, creased it. That's this pencil mark right here. And then I went ahead and I folded in half the other way and creased it. That's my pencil mark right here. Now for this box, since it's not completely a square, I wanted this oval to match on the same side. So this side was my 4 3/8 inch, and this is my 4 1/2 inch side. Next, I took a piece of paper that measured 4 inches long by 2 inches wide. I folded it in half one way and then in half the other way. And then I just took my scissors and I cut a quarter of an oval shape. So when I open it up, I have this oval. And because I have my lines here and here, my fold lines will match right up on there. And then all you want to do is draw around your piece of paper. That's going to give us our opening for our tissue box. As you can see, my oval is quite a bit smaller than the one on the box here, but it's long enough so that my tissues can still come through with no problem. So now I'm just going to take my scissors here and I'm going to cut this out. Alright guys, now that you have your pattern all cut out here, you just want to take your fat quarters of fabric. You could also just use yardage if that's what you have. And I'm going to lay them one on top of the other. Now you just want to take your pattern here. If you've never used freezer paper as a template before, it works great. There's a paper side on one side and a waxy side on the other. So that way when I just hit it with my iron, it'll stick. And then when you're ready, all you have to do is go ahead and peel it up, and you can reuse this a few times before it gets too yucky on the back. So now with my sharp fabric scissors, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out both fabric pieces at once. Alright guys, so all I need to do now is just peel off my freezer paper. And as you can see, I have 2 of my fabric pieces all ready to go. Next, you just want to set these off to the side and grab your stabilizer. Now I have my stabilizer folded in half here, because what we're going to want to do is go ahead and cut 2 pieces of the stabilizer using our same pattern here. But this time, don't use your iron. Instead, I'm just going to take a couple pins here and just pin the edges. Now just go ahead and cut it out. Alright guys, so just remove your pins. And now we have 2 pieces of interfacing that match our pattern. So eventually these edges will be the bottom of our tissue box here, and we don't want all this bulkiness down there. So I laid my interfacing together, one on top of the other. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch on each of these sides here. So with my rotary cutter, just cut it off. So now you just want to take your pattern again, and one piece of your stabilizer, I'm going to line it back up on here. Now I have it so my glue is facing down, and then I'm just going to trace the oval onto my stabilizer. Just like that. So now you just want to take one of your pieces of fabric here, and we're going to lay it so the pretty side is facing down. Next, you want to take one of your pieces of interfacing here, and I'm going to put the bumpy glue side down. Just like that. Now, following the manufacturer's instructions, you just want to go ahead and iron this down. I'll be using a pressing cloth, and it says to press firmly for 10 to 15 seconds. Repeat, lifting and slightly overlapping iron until all interfacing is fused. So I'll just stick my iron here at the edge and count to 10 to 15 seconds. Alright guys, so I have my stabilizer all ironed on here, and you want to do that to both pieces. So now that I have both of my fabric pieces here fused down, I'm then going to go to the sides here where I cut my stabilizer shorter, and I'm going to fold that up a 1/2 inch and give it a press. And I'm going to do that to all 4 sides on both pieces of my fabric. Alright guys, so now you just want to take one of your fabrics here, and I'm going to lay it so that the pretty side is facing up. Then I'm going to take my second piece with the oval, and I'm going to lay it pretty sides facing down. And now I'm just going to throw in a couple pins. Now I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'll be using a straight stitch, and I'm going to stitch right along the oval here, right on the line. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and the end. Alright guys, so I just sewed all the way around my oval here, and when you get to these edges over here, you want to go really slow. My length was a 2, so now I'm just going to clip my threads, and using my rotary cutter, I'm going to cut a slit right in the middle of the oval. Make sure you go through both fabrics. Next, I'm going to take my pinking shears, and I'm going to cut all the way around the inside of this oval, making sure I don't go through my threads. Alright guys, and it should look like that. Now if you don't have pinking shears, all you want to do is go ahead and make little notches. That's going to make it easier to turn our fabric. So now you just want to take our back fabric here, and we're going to tuck it up inside our oval. Just like that. So So you can see that one fabric is on the back and one is on the front. Now I'm just going to take this over to my ironing board, and I'm going to try to get this to lay as flat as possible. Alright, so now I'm just going to take this back over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to top stitch along the oval here with about an 1/8 inch seam allowance. And you want to, as always, back stitch at the beginning and the end. Alright guys, so I'm over here at my sewing machine. My length is a 2, and I'll be using an 1/8 inch seam allowance. Now you just want to go nice and slow, especially right around here. So don't forget to back stitch. And slowly and carefully continue to sew. Alright, so now you just want to clip your threads. Now I don't know if you can see it so well, but especially down around here, it's not so pretty. But this is for me, and I really don't care. If you happen to use some matching thread for the bobbin and matching top thread, you'll hardly even notice that. Alright guys, so now we're going to sew up our sides here. So you want to do the front and the back separately. So I'm going to take my brown fabric here, and I'm going to match up the bottoms. Just like that. And now with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, back stitching at the beginning and the end, I'm going to sew all the way down. Alright guys, so it should look like this. So now I'm just going to take this over to my ironing board, and I'm going to press my seam open. When I get to this little triangle part here, I'm just going to make sure that that lays flat, just like that. Now it should look like this. Now if you start at the bottom and just press it, this little triangle will automatically want to lay flat. So now I'm just going to take my other brown piece, match it up at the bottom, and I'm going to continue to do that all the way around. When I'm done with the brown piece, I'm going to do the same thing with the blue pieces. Alright guys, so you should have something that looks like this. So now what you want to do is go ahead and fold one of your pieces over the other one. So now I'm just going to take some pins, and I'm going to pin the seams here. So I match this seam up with this seam in the front, and stick a pin. And I'm just going to go all the way around and pin the other 3 corners the same way. Alright guys, so now you just want to take your 1/2 inch elastic, and to find the length that you're going to need, you want to measure one of your sides here and add 3/4 of an inch. So in my case, I used the 4 3/8 side. I added the 3 1/4, and I got 5 1/8. For this square cover, it really does not matter what side you use, but if you're doing this for a rectangle box, you want to go across on the long side of the box. So now I'm just going to take a piece of elastic here, and I'm going to measure 1 inch in from the corner here, which is right here. And I'm going to stick my elastic in. I'm going to stick it in so that about a 1/2 inch of the elastic is down in between our 2 layers of fabric here, and pin it. Then I'm going to measure 1 inch on the other side and do the same thing. Now you're just going to repeat that on the opposite side. So I'm going to come in 1 inch, stick my elastic, and now on the other side. So now I'm just going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'll be using an 1/8 inch seam allowance. I'm going to sew all the way around. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and the end. Alright guys, so now our tissue box cover is complete. Here's what it looks like at the bottom. And it was quite a bear cat to get this elastic through my machine, but it is doable. You just want to go nice and slow and make sure the elastic is up and out of your way. So here's what one side looks like. And here's the other side. I think I like this blue side for these winter months. Now these would make a great gift for anyone. And like I said before, you could use any fabric you wanted. You could put these in your kids' room with a nice colorful theme fabric. Match it to your decor, holidays, anything like that. I hope you give this project a try. If you like this project and want to see more of my projects, go down below and hit the big red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. If you'd like to be notified for when one of my videos come out, go down below and hit the bell button. If you have a question about this video or any of my other videos, or just like to leave a suggestion for a future upcoming video, leave me a comment. Feel free to share this video across your social medias. Head over to the Scrappy's Patch Facebook page and hit the friend button. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.